Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weird World, where I give you the latest news and weird stories from around the world. All right, shall we get into it? Let us talk about our oil reserves, shall we? All right, U.S. petroleum reserves hit the lowest level in decades ahead of our winter months. The strategic petroleum reserve levels have reached their lowest levels in 4 decades in autumn, as autumn and winter weather conditions approach. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, President Joe Biden has responded to rising gas prices by releasing 1 million barrels of oil per day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves, a stock of energy crude oil created to reduce the impact of disruptions in supplies of petroleum products. Through reserves in Though reserves in January of 2021 were as high as 638 million barrels, reserves have fallen to 461 million barrels as of August, just of August. So this month. So far, we're not done yet. A level not seen since March of 1985. Close to the time when they first started doing this. The scale of this release is unprecedented. The world has never had a release of oil reserves at this 1 million per day rate for this length of time. The White House said in a statement earlier this year this record release will provide a historical amount of supply to serve as a bridge until the end of the year when domestic production ramps up. Okay. One question on that. Okay, so obviously in some ways they plan on releasing 1 million barrels every day until the end of the year, which is roughly about 100 days from now. So it's another 100 million barrels of our oil reserves are just going to go out the window. So that would mean that we're going to be down to 361 million barrels by the end of the year. Whoa. And then on top of that, serve as a bridge until the end of the year when domestic production ramps up. How are they going to ramp up production? We could ramp up production now. All we have to do is just simply, undo a bunch of stuff Biden did. That's all we got to do. At least 5 million barrels have found their way to nations such as India, the Netherlands, and Italy, as well as a Chinese oil company with links to Hunter Biden. The country that we're close to being at war with, China, and we're supplying them with oil, and all they're doing is stockpiling. Because all they're doing is buying the oil and just stockpiling. You can just read that anywhere about what they're doing with the oil. The decline in emergency reserves occurs months ahead of the winter season. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the United States could be positioned to experience a cold December and a very cold January. We've had those. It's not unknown. But of course, being in Michigan and all, December's usually not that bad. January can be cold. The national average price of gasoline was $2.38 when President Joe Biden assumed office, according to the Energy Information Administration, and increased to $3.53 per gallon by the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Prices surpassed $5 per gallon in early June before subsiding to $3.92 per gallon as of Friday, according to AAA. Biden nixed an expansion of the Keystone XL pipeline upon his entrance into the office. Yeah, which was going to make us. We were independent. We didn't need to bring in oil from any place else. We didn't need to, and that was just going to continue to be able to bring in more than enough oil for us to not give two craps for us. Yet the commander-in-chief has repeatedly cast the actions of the Russian President Vladimir Putin as the main factor behind soaring energy costs. Yeah, that's his scapegoat. We all know this. It's nothing new. It's just a bunch of BS. We already know it. Putin's price hike hit hard in May here, and around the world. High gas prices at the pump, energy and food prices accounted for around half of the monthly price increases. Yeah, because they're all tied around gas. And gas pump prices are up by $2 a gallon in many places since Russian troops began to threaten Ukraine. There's nothing to do with it. Biden said in a June statement. That's what he said. Even as we continue continue our work to defend freedom. Yeah, you mean our money that we're constantly paying Ukraine. We must do more. Yeah, and sink our economy and make everyday life hell in America. And quickly to get prices down here in the United States. However, business leaders, including J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, have called for the United States to increase oil production. No, kidding. We should focus on climate. The problem with that is because of high oil and gas prices, the world is turning back to their coal plants. No kidding. It's because it works. You don't have to worry about it. And we're not even the ones and stuff that are send all this carbon dioxide and all this sort of stuff into the atmosphere. And mainly it's the third world and second world countries that do. And China doesn't give a crap. They put up so much emissions and stuff, they don't give two craps. Yet we have to be able to do even more. We don't even account for that much. Let's see now. Here marked last week. It is dirtier. Why can't we get it through our thick skulls that if you want to solve climate, it's not against climate for America. It is not against climate for America to boost more oil and gas. What? It is dirtier. Why can't we get it through our thick skulls that if you want to solve climate change, I guess, it is not against the climate for America to boost more oil and gas? Well, yeah, I guess. Weird way of saying it, though. The more pain we are all experiencing from the high price of gas, the more benefit there is for those who can access electric vehicles. In other words, and so the more pain you put us through, the more they're trying to be able to screw people into buying electric vehicles, even though we don't have the infrastructure to support them. Wow, whatever. Transportation Secretary Pete argued last month during a hearing before the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. The real truth is that as long as our nation remains overly reliant on oil and fossil fuels, we will feel these price shocks again. Only because we're not supplying it. We used to be energy dependent. To be honest, we didn't give two craps what the Arabs or anybody else and stuff that was producing in oil. We made enough oil for our own supply, and we were exporting. That's a fact. This is not going to be the last time. The next time there's a war, the next time there's a pandemic or another hurricane, these extreme weather events we are experiencing, they will impact the access that we all have to fossil fuels. Only because the idiocy of this is just phenomenal. We used to be independent. By the time the end of Trump's first 4 years, his time, we were energy dependent. We didn't need oil. We didn't import any oil. We didn't give a crap what was out in the market. Why? Because we were exporting oil for a change. And then, Biden came on in and killed a whole bunch of stuff, and now all of a sudden we are severely reliant upon outside oil. Way to go, Biden. All right, well, obviously, and so that's what's going on right now. I'd love to be able to hear what you guys think. Like and share, and we'll get to you next time. You have a great one. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.